In this video I'm going to do some measurements on the three-phase capacitor setup. So we have over here the single generator, that is that one over here. We have this resonant tank circuit with the three-phase capacitor, and that is that one over there. Also in the ground connection line I have a three-phase capacitor resonant tank, that is that one over there. That one will be connected to a plate, and in the signal wire it will be connected to earth ground. I'm doing a current measurement over here, that one over there, and that is the earth ground connection. It is not connected yet because I want to build up things. This is then the current measurement for the signal wire over here. And then of course we just have some tank circuits to see if we have resonance, yes or no, and that are these tank circuits over here. So what I first want to start is I'm going to connect the measurement of the voltage just to show you where the pulses on the one wire are in sync with. So I'm going to move the camera a little bit up. So we see that on the one wire, in the signal wire, because that is the measurement over here, that we have a negative spike when the signal goes negative, and we have a positive spike when the signal goes positive. And it's only at the time of change that we see that spike. So that is for the synchronization with the pulses. I'm going to take away so that it is not influencing the rest of the measurements. So now we see the signal is there. I'm going to connect earth ground, or I'm first going to show you what happens when we go through the different frequencies, so that you can see what the influence is of the grounding. I now have 720 kilohertz, and I'm going lower in frequency. I have to set the trigger a little bit lower so you can follow. So I'm now at 520, 400, 390. So nothing is happening. Going now back to the 720, and I'm going higher, 730, 900, 1.2 megahertz, 1.4. There we see a slight ringing, but it's not that much. So going back to the 700, so there we have the spikes back again. So we saw that we are not creating anything that is of importance. So now I'm going to connect the earth ground, and immediately we see a rise in the current values, and this is the current measurement in the earth grounding, and this is the signal from the signal generator. So if I now change frequency, and as you can see when I touch the signal generator creating the plate, then you see what the influence is. Now going to lower the frequency. So now we are back at 300 kilohertz. Again, nothing going higher. Now keep in mind that in this case I have also that resonant tank circuit over here that is different than in the other video. The other video I only had in the signal wire resonant tank circuits. So going to 800, 900. We see not much there. Going back to the 700. So we see that over here at 760 kilohertz, the LED is on over there. So now we are going to watch at the signal what happens when I also add the plate. So if I now go through the different frequencies, I am at 760, going to lower. So you can see at this frequency all the 4 LEDs are on. I'm going to do a signal so that you have more view. So we see that the moment we create resonance, the space in between two spikes is filled with the energy from the resonance. And this was only when the earth ground was connected or the plate. So the grounding is needed. So I'm gonna let it run continuous again. So now I'm at 710 kilohertz. I'm going higher. Then we go out of resonance. There are some resonance points, but in this case the 720 kilohertz is the best. But you can see the influence of the earth ground on all things that we see over here. Now, what we also must keep in mind when we use this further is that influencing the setup over there on the signal side will also have its influence on the grounding side. So whatever you do over here will also influence on the ground side, because you can see that LED goes out. Now the resonance is not done with variable capacitors, so therefore it is not really exactly tuned at this point in time, but for later use I think it will also be very difficult to really fine-tune the setup. So I want to see what happens when we don't have that fine-tuning. But as you can see, these are the influences by using the grounding and the three-phase capacitor-like setup. So I'm going to do some extra measurements, but I wanted to show you this because now you can see effectively what the influence was on the grounding on our resonant tank setup that we have over here. I can also do it without the grounding. So we take that away and we search for the new frequency. So now we are at 730 kilohertz, 740, 750, 760. There was the LED on. And there we have 860. So that is a little bit different in frequency. I'm going to take this one over there. And then we can lower this one. So it is all about tuning. But as you can see, it is possible with the three-phase capacitor and to have some influence. And when we also have a plate connected, which is very much possible when we have, for example, a cabinet where a device is built in and we take the cabinet space as the plate, then we can use the grounding to have back again that same influence, because when I connect this one over here, you automatically see the influence on the LED over there and also on the current. So it's more like the energy is moving back and forth and creating current in the meantime, and that is amplified when we have good grounding. For current measurements, this signal generator uses, when it's switched off, It uses 270 milliamps, 267. I will try to zoom in. Maybe I can place the LED back. So I have 267 milliamps. I have 298 milliamps when the LED, so the LED over there is on. So those two are now on. I will do the same when I'm going to try if you can see better. So I cannot show both at the same time. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to change the frequency so that you can see the change in the milliamps. If it wants to take it sharp. Okay. So going lower in frequency. So now the both LEDs are off and I have 279 milliamps. Going back to the frequency where they are both on at brightest. This is the brightest. There you can see I have 300 milliamps. So there is a slight difference in current. But as I said, what we change on one part will also influence the other. What is placed in the signal wire connection has also it influence what is placed on the ground connection. So thank you for watching and hope to see you in the next video.